Fat Stack of Comics here, representing Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. Mark, aka the Bagging and Boarding Bad Boy. Today I have a review for Talon issue number 4. This book starts off just the way Talon issue number 3 ended, picks up right after that, where you see the big mammoth Talon, Calvin Rose, the main character Talon. He's working with the older gentleman who wants to take out the Court of Owls, and he's working with like this big old Court of the Owls resistance team that helps people who have been affected by the stuff that the Court of the Owls has been doing to Gotham City, and just a group that really just wants to take out the Court of Owls, that really detest them and for personal reasons. And he's been working with them, and they're on this mission to really hit them where it hurts. They're after their bank account. They're just going to deplete some of their funds and pretty much bring that money into their organization to help them thrive and to be able to defeat them. So in this big, huge bank heist, Calvin, of course, Calvin Rose, the Talon. He is his main strength is his ability to escape. So he's making his escape out of there. And about that time, this big, huge mammoth Talon, known as the Gotham Butcher, which they do research on him, and you really get they just really tell you who he is in this issue. Of course, we've seen him around before. I think he was at the end of another issue, but of course, he's at the very end of last issue where you see Calvin escaping, and this big, huge hand just face palms Calvin. It's like, where are you going? So it picks up right with that. We find out that the Gotham Butcher is like 7'3". That's like a Shaquille O'Neal Talon, like just straight kicking Calvin's butt all over this issue. Right after he face palms him like that, he kicks Calvin's butt all through the street. Calvin really can't do anything because Calvin's strength, he's not really a fighter. I mean, I'm sure he can a little bit, but he's more stealthy. He's an escape artist, so it's not like it's his strength to be able to fight. And this whole issue is pretty much just the big, huge Gotham Butcher Talon chasing Calvin all through the entire issue, and chasing the team, and Calvin's just trying to escape from him. And there's other team members that step in, and that the Gotham Butcher kills them. If you've read this, he numerous times just expresses how much he loves to kill. I mean, this guy is just a murder maniac. He's a stone cold killer. He loves killing. It's like in his blood. And you see also in this, as you see part of that team is the whole reason Calvin, he was a member of the Court of Owls. He's a renegade Court of Owls member. He was a former Talon. One of the missions they'd sent him on was to kill this woman and her little girl, and then he couldn't do it, and he ended up helping them. Well, you see, he actually has a relationship with that woman and the little girl. They're in a romantic type relationship. And you see them, she's actually kind of the head of this Court of the Owls resistance team, and she wants to kind of stay there, fight the Court of the Owls, and take them down. Calvin just doesn't see things that way. He sees it as kind of a survival thing. He just wants to stay on the run, try to survive. He feels there is no way of defeating them. And really cool at the end, they kind of do come to agree with each other that they do need to fight, need to take them down. And the only way you can kill a Talon, or one of their weaknesses, there might be more exposed later, but right now we know really the only way to kill a Talon is to get their core body temperature down. So, spoiler alert if you haven't read this, but I'm going to tell you how this pretty much ends. As you see Calvin, he's kind of going to self-sacrifice himself in that it's a suicide mission. He's going to try to trap the big mammoth Talon. The Gotham Butcher is going to try to trap him in the Hudson River and drown him, but he's going to drown at the same time. But Calvin, big escape artist, he's actually able to get out of there. We think that the Gotham Butcher has drowned, and at the very end, in classic fashion, you see this hand rise up out of the water. And I was kind of glad about that too, because I think he's a really cool villain, and I'd like to see Talon, Calvin Rose, become a pretty well-known figure in the DCU. So I think that's cool. He can build his rogues gallery, and I would like to see him be like an arch enemy. The Gotham Butcher be one of Calvin's core arch enemies that he always is facing. Not all the time, but somebody in his rogues gallery. I think that'd be really cool. And this ends the very first arc. I felt this whole series was really strong. I know a lot of people didn't care for it. He's not a you know, he's not a real well-known superhero right now, but I think he has a lot of potential, and I thought this book was great. So if you haven't been picking it up, I highly recommend the trade. I thought the last issue was better than this issue, but this was still really good. And if you read, you know, beginning of the New 52 when Scott Snyder was doing the whole Court of Owls series, if you really enjoyed all of that, this is the extension of all that. This is, you know, a Talon who escaped from the Court of Owls, and they're hunting him down and tracking him down to bring him back. So I love this series, definitely sticking with it. This particular issue, Talon issue number 4, I would have to give a 3.5 out of 5. Alright guys, till next review, stay action-packed, and may your stack be fat.